in a good way, is starting to shift towards not just about the bigger players, it's about the competent players, right?
That is 100% accurate. There's probably two parts to it. The bigger players, or in the SDA space, we would call that sort of your institutional investor market versus your mum and dads, your nan and pops. Sorry, that's the British coming across.
It is, sorry. Yeah.
Mum and dad capital is just not the right type of capital for this market for a number of reasons. It's very complex, and that's not to demean anyone who wants to invest because they have the best intentions of people and the greater good at heart. That's fantastic. But first of all, availability of CapEx. You know, if you're a mum and dad investor and you pay for this incredibly well-specced property with all the best intentions, it is much more risky knowing that you will have the safeguard of tens of thousands of dollars in maintenance spend if the assistive technology breaks down, or the backup battery, or any number of specialized pieces of kit in that property. And so that makes it very dangerous for a person who, particularly with life support needs, living in an SDA property. The other risk, which we see quite a lot, is you've got this concentration risk that institutional investors remove, where if you're a couple and you invest in a property, if you have a 3-resident house as an example, you've only got 3 speeds. You've got 1 person, 2 people, or 3 people, or it's empty, which happens in a lot of cases. If you are only 2 out of 3, that the numbers don't work. And so you'll push everything you can to get that 3rd person in there, and you're almost incentivized to take on someone who isn't the right match for the other people in the property. And so there's all of this investor pressure. When you have an institutional investor who has 100 properties, the portfolio risk is blended, where with a lot of the people we work with, we have I won't say privilege because it is just human right, but we make sure that we can make the ethical decision where there might be a 3-resident home, 2 people are perfectly matched, and we don't even look for a 3rd person in that property because there's no need, because various other properties are at 100% occupancy, and so the blended average is okay. That type of thinking is absolutely the way forward. You need more sophisticated and more ethical capital in this market, and that's exactly why there are unfortunately thousands of vacant dwellings in some very thin markets where the investors probably don't even look at the demand data. They just trust a builder and off they go, and they've built all these properties that sit empty, which is very sad.